What's up guys, my name is Sergeant Manley and welcome back to American Truck Simulator single player. It's gonna be a simple week this time because I'm having a weird week. So, honestly I'm not sure what you're gonna see. You're probably just gonna see whatever works. So right now, I'm playing ATS. I have recorded a My Summer Car episode that took me 2.5 hours and 3 different attempts. I've tried to record a couple of indie games that just didn't work out because they were either too short or I had too many issues or some kind of crap like that. But, oh man, it... Oh, it's one of those weeks, you know what, or one of those days actually. The most of the week has been okay, but you know it's been one of those days where I started off pretty strong. I started off in a really good mood, and I, you know, you have a really good day up until a certain point when you need things to work, and you get to that point when you need things to work and they just don't. So that's kind of where I've gotten. I've cut things a little short this week as far as a timetable or anything goes because I have not been able to record until the last couple of days of my schedule. And when I rely on those last couple of days, when I plan on using those last couple of days, is when something doesn't work. So, yeah, it's great. But, okay, so the main reason I've had to push my schedule back to the last couple of days is because I have had a canker sore, or basically an ulcer, on my tongue that makes it very, very hard, very, very painful, almost impossible to talk. Only reason I'm able to right now is because I have a crap ton of anesthetic on it that is numbing the shit out of it. And I have to reapply that every hour. So, yeah, it's a bundle of fun this week. But on a higher note, I actually have successfully turned in a few applications and done a few interviews today. So that makes me feel a little bit better. Because up until this point in my YouTube career, actually a couple of months before I started doing YouTube, I have not had a job. That's part of the reason I started doing YouTube, because I was just so completely bored. I needed something to do, and you know, it turns out I love it. But even though YouTube is fun, I'm not at the point where it can pay the bills. So I do have to get a job. I do still have to work a regular 9 to 5, but I plan on doing YouTube as much and as long as I can because I legitimately absolutely love doing it. It's fun, but it can be annoying. But I do. I love it. I love making content for you guys. I love the fact that you actually watch this rambling crap that I upload. I love the fact that you enjoy the content I make. It's a really good feeling. And if one day I do get to the point of success like other YouTubers, maybe it'll be my full-time job. Do I anticipate getting to that point? Do I expect to get to that point? Probably not. But hey, you never know, right? But how's your guys' week been? Because mine overall has been pretty good. The job I applied for wasn't, you know, it's not a glamorous job, but it is a job that pays a really good amount of money considering the type of job that it is and the area that it's in. So it if I do get it, I kind of feel like I will, because I actually sat in the office when I turned in my application for about 10 minutes just talking to the guys. We actually actually hit it off fairly well. It's a job that doesn't require much skill. It doesn't really have any prerequisites. It doesn't desire, you know, it's an entry level, as entry level pretty much as you can get kind of job. So I really hope that I was able to kind of secure a spot, because I love doing YouTube. I'm having a lot of fun doing YouTube, but I am dying to have some income again. So I need something that can actually, you know, that can actually give me some income, that can give me some money that I can improve not only the channel, but whoa, my life in general with. So hopefully that works out. If not, there are a few more options that I have that I intend to go to, but it doesn't really get much easier than the job that I applied for today. So maybe that'll work out for me. Maybe, but you know, if not, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does, it does. That's awesome. So, dude, you can't just slow down like that in front of an 18-wheeler. It doesn't work. Oh. But yeah, it's been a fairly good day until I started trying to record, because I ignored my own advice, which is never upgrade anything when you need it to work right after. I never update anything, I never upgrade anything, I never change anything unless I have some time to mess with it. And for some reason I broke my own rule. I updated my summer car and I updated XSplit at the same time. So I did finally manage to get a full episode of my summer car, and I did finally manage to work it out. Not sure how well it's going to work out, because I finally finished that just about an hour ago. But it was a struggle. For those of you that don't know, I use XSplit Broadcaster to record, which is a software solution. 90% of the time, I have no issues with it. 10% of the time, I do, because a game will not be properly optimized or something along those lines, and it won't leave any headroom in the GPU. The game will want to use 100% of the GPU. And when you're using a software solution to encode and record, you can't do that. You have to have at least 5 to 10% of your GPU available for encoding and recording. So I was running into an issue with that, and it took me about an hour and a half of troubleshooting to get the game to record properly. And what it turns out it was actually the game. There was a light in the game world that wasn't, I guess it's not properly configured or something like that, but when that light was turned on, the GPU usage spiked all the way to 100%. The game itself ran fine, but the recording looked like poo. So I've tried to work around as many of those areas as I could. Hopefully it works out. But if not, I'll do what I can with what I've been given on that. But before I even got into the game and started recording, after I updated XSplit, I had no audio. I had no sound whatsoever, and then what sound I did get was garbled. It sounded like the refresh rate of it was very low, or the sample rate of it was very low. And what happened is when I updated XSplit, it changed my default audio device, the default listening device, back to my headphones, which doesn't really work because I use Voicemeeter Banana, which is basically it's a piece of software that works like a hardware sound mixer. So I use Voice Meter Banana to separate programs into separate channels and to do the EQ effects on my microphone, so I have to do less in post and all that fun kind of stuff. But what had happened is when XSplit updated, it changed my default audio device back to my headphones instead of using Voice Meter, and that screwed everything up, and it took me 30 minutes to figure out what was going on there, which was absolutely awesome. I love troubleshooting so much. It's the best thing ever. So it I mean, it went from an alright day to a pretty to a somewhat stressful day in just about the snap of a finger. So it's always fun when that happens. But what do you guys do when you go in for a job interview? How, like, you know, because I try to be myself as much as possible. I try to let my personality show through and let people know what they're going to get right up front. And it's not like I'm crazy or anything like that, but it's I don't feel like putting on any kind of show. I don't feel like trying to live up to the standard of what I think that person wants to see in me. More or less, I just want to be as friendly and as positive and get along with, you know, have contact with at least 2 or 3 people that run the show and 2 or 3 people that work there, because I want to know what the job environment is like, you know, what the work environment is like, how everything kind of goes and how people work together, and kind of get a feel for the environment, the atmosphere of the, you know, of the job. And I just want to see if I'll fit in, more or less. So that's really what I did. I went in, turned in my application, talked with him for about 15 or 20 minutes. Turns out the guy actually is pretty familiar with the area that I live in. So we had a conversation about that and people that have lived there and this, that, and the other, and he kind of wanted to gossip, so that was pretty cool. No, not really gossip, but he wanted to talk about, you know, do you know this person, do you know this, and I knew some of them. I didn't lie to him about it. I said, well, you've kind of lost me on that one. I don't really know. But, you know, we had a little conversation. I tried to keep it as genuine as possible, which as you guys know, in the recent changes that I've decided to make to the channel is something I always want to do. I always want to keep things as genuine and realistic as possible. So I really tried to do that. And it wasn't a formal interview, it wasn't anything like that. It was just me turning in an application. But if I can get a good foot in the door, not only do I have a better chance of getting hired by them, but I have a better chance of getting along with them if I do get the job. So maybe that'll work out in my favor, because I really do need a job. I don't want it to sound like I'm desperate, but in all honesty, I am. So, you know, it's one of those things. I really want to put all of the energy that I can into YouTube, but financially, it's not possible. I love doing YouTube, as I've already said. I don't ever plan to stop, because I am hooked on content creation and on entertaining people. I absolutely love it. But I need something to help me grow. And in today's world, or in the world that has grown out of capitalism and out of, you know, human greed, money is what talks the loudest. So I've got to get some income. And speaking of, you know, keeping things genuine and stuff like that, there's been a big scare last week and some of this week about YouTube changing their algorithm or something like that. I don't know, I've seen a lot of things, and I've even shared a couple just because I want, if it is true, I want as many people to see it as possible, and if it's not, then I want to have someone prove to me that it isn't. But, I've seen a lot of things like, oh, YouTube is lying to us, this, that, and the other. And basically what people are saying is that YouTube has changed their algorithm, that they've changed their algorithm so it focuses more on engagement, quote unquote, than it does on watch time. So what that means is, if that is true, then A, I have done everything wrong up until this point as far as search engine optimization goes, but B, what that basically means is it looks for videos with a combination of A, the most views, B, the most interactions, so the most likes per views, the most comments and stuff like that. And what people are afraid of is that's going to force people to be more clickbaity. It's going to force YouTubers to have to evolve into this, that, or the other. And honestly, I think that's bullshit. I think that no matter what YouTube's algorithm says, if you get enough people that like your content, if you get enough people that are familiar with what you do and like what you do, YouTube's algorithm won't make that much of a difference. It is an important key to growing your channel. It is an important key to gaining subscribers and stuff like that, yes, but it is not the only way. It is not the only method of communicating. And some people have said, maybe you're losing subscribers because there's apparently some kind of subscriber bug going on too. I've actually seen people tweeting out, like every time they post a video, they lose 5% of their subscribers. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but pretty much whenever some channels would upload a video, they would lose subscribers via a bug. And what I think that's part of, and this is all me speculation, I haven't read anything, from this point on is all speculation. I haven't read anything, I don't have any proof. This is just me talking and me thinking. But there is one person or a group of people at YouTube that really want that subscriber number to mean something. They really want it to be an accurate representation of your community. Oh, I'm not going to stop in time. Oh, yes I am. They really want that subscriber number to be an accurate representation of your community, not just the amount of people that have clicked the subscribe button, which I completely understand. I get that 100%. I can see where they're coming from, but the way they've implemented the, let's call it the purge, for lack of a better term, the way they've implemented the purge is if someone doesn't, or at least in the latest changes, if someone doesn't interact with your video for a certain amount of time, if someone doesn't interact with your videos for a certain amount of time, then they get removed. And for some reason, the algorithm is describing interaction as liking, as commenting, or as sharing, something like that, or sometimes maybe even a combination of all three. But the problem is, and even I, with 50 subscribers, have experienced this firsthand, not everybody interacts with your video. My average, the average video that I put up on my channel will get 15 to 20 views, maybe 1 or 2 likes, and 1 or 2 comments. So that that shows right there, even if there's, 3 people that watch the video a couple of times, that not every view equals an interaction, but a view itself should count. Because for the longest time, I was subscribed to YouTubers that I never interacted with. I never followed them on Twitter. I never tried to talk to them because I was just nervous. I never tried to talk to them because I was afraid of seeming stupid or quirky or something along those lines. I never tried to interact with them because I was just nervous. I was afraid to. But I still watched their content. I still watched their content, and I still watched almost, I watched nearly 100% of the video every time. But with today's algorithm, somebody like that, somebody who still watches the content but doesn't comment or doesn't like or doesn't do anything like that, is going to get removed. I am going to get removed from their subscriptions list because they don't interact with me. And from my experience, the average person is subscribed to so many channels and so many different types of content, they're probably not going to notice that they're not seeing my video anymore. So I can see why people would be upset by the new algorithm changes, and I can see why it would cause, some feathers to get ruffled and some people to overthink it. But overall, I really do believe that if you make good enough content, or if you engage with your subscribers well enough, they are going to stick around and interact with you back. So the point I'm trying to make here is that regardless of what YouTube does with their algorithm, regardless of changes that get made or fears that show up, if you're a young YouTuber, if you're a big YouTuber, if you're not even a YouTuber at all, if you're just somebody that watches content, you normally won't have anything to worry about, because something like this, as someone I follow on Twitter pointed out a few days ago, something like this happens every year, and people are generally unaffected by it. People are generally unaffected by it, even though there's this big freak out. So, do I think there's anything to worry about? No, not really. Am I going to change my content to try and please the mighty algorithm gods of YouTube? No. I am who I am. My content is what I am happy with. And I'm not going to change that just because somebody that knows how to code decides the content I make shouldn't be featured on YouTube. That doesn't matter to me. But there are multiple platforms that I can use to make my content known. And there are multiple methods of reaching as many people as I can. I don't have to rely solely on the YouTube algorithm to do so. So I'm not. I am going to make content that I am happy making and that I am comfortable making. And I'm not going to change anything just because a piece of code doesn't like what I'm doing. That makes absolutely no difference to me. So, that's been kind of a long tangent speech thing about nothing, but kind of something at the same time. I don't know if it made any sense. I hope it did. But if it didn't, just tell me I'm being an idiot. So, oh. I'm also being an idiot because I can't figure out how to park this trailer. So, why is that person hanging back like that. That is weird. So, just to make it painfully clear, once again, I am not a truck driver in real life. I know very little about driving with a trailer, and I know even less about actually maneuvering an articulating vehicle, such as something with a trailer. So, you're not going to get 100% realism out of me or this channel when I'm playing this game, because I simply don't think I'm capable of doing it right now. But I am going to make you laugh. Hopefully. I will anyway. I hope I make you laugh. I plan on it. And I am going to give you something to enjoy. So, or I'm at least going to do my best to do those things. I don't know if I actually will, but I'll certainly try. Because that's why I'm here on YouTube. To make people laugh, to give people something to enjoy, and to give myself something to help me keep my sanity. So, I will eventually get this trailer parked. Maybe. Probably not. It's always just a little bitty touches that piss me off the most. But, long story short, the too long do read, or whatever you want to call it, of this episode is I'm happy with the content that I'm making. I hope you are. And you don't have to worry about me changing in order to get more views or to do anything like that, because as long as there's one person watching the content I make, enjoying the content that I make, I'm perfectly happy. So, I'm not going to be able to park this trailer, so we're going to say screw it and do that, because if not, I'm going to be sitting there rambling, just saying something for the next 30 minutes. But I'm level 29 instructor. Awesome. And we have the option to level up. So, that is going to do it for this Oh, I was going in the wrong room. It's been one of those days. It has been one of those days. But that is going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. If you loved it, if you hated it, if you think I'm an idiot, or whatever. Maybe going through your head right now. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.